A viewer just lost $3,500 worth of Bitcoin, and it could happen to you next. He thought his MetaMask wallet was secure because it had passwords and encryption. But here's what he didn't know. Hot wallets like MetaMask, Exodus, and Trust Wallet are constantly connected to the internet, making them sitting ducks for malware attacks. The malware didn't need to crack his password or break encryption. It simply waited for him to access his wallet, then quietly copied his private keys. By the time he noticed, his Bitcoin was gone forever. MetaMask displays a lock icon when you create your wallet. Exodus shows you encryption status indicators. Trust Wallet prompts you to set up passwords and biometric authentication. These visual cues create a sense of security that millions of crypto users rely on every day. The marketing messages reinforce this feeling. These companies promote their wallets as secure storage solutions with military-grade encryption and advanced security protocols. But these security features address the wrong problem entirely. While you focus on creating strong passwords and enabling two-factor authentication, the real threat operates at a completely different level. Your hot wallet's greatest vulnerability has nothing to do with password strength or encryption algorithms. The fatal flaw lies in a design choice that every hot wallet makes, storing your private keys on a device that maintains constant internet connectivity. Every time your phone connects to Wi-Fi or your computer accesses the internet, your private keys remain exposed to potential attackers. This internet connection creates a permanent attack surface that no password can eliminate. Traditional security thinking assumes that encryption and authentication will protect your assets, but this approach fails when applied to cryptocurrency storage because it ignores the fundamental architecture problem. Consider how malware infiltrates your device. Modern malware often arrives disguised as legitimate software updates, email attachments, or even advertisements on reputable websites. Once installed, it operates silently in the background, monitoring your device activity without triggering antivirus alerts. This malware doesn't need to crack your wallet password because it can access your private keys through completely different methods. The technical reality reveals why traditional security measures fail. When you enter your wallet password, the decryption process happens locally on your device. The malware watches this process unfold, capturing the unencrypted private keys as they temporarily exist in your device's memory. Your password successfully unlocks the wallet, but the malware now has complete access to your private keys. The encryption worked perfectly. It just protected against the wrong attack vector. Keylogger malware records every keystroke you make, including passwords, seed phrases, and private keys. Screen capture malware takes screenshots when it detects crypto wallet activity, documenting everything you see on screen. Memory scanning malware searches your device's RAM for private key patterns, extracting them directly from memory without needing to break any encryption. These attack methods bypass your wallet's security features entirely because they target the human-device interaction point. Clipboard hijacking represents another sophisticated attack vector that demonstrates why hot wallet security features provide false protection. This malware monitors your clipboard for cryptocurrency addresses. When you copy a recipient address to send crypto, the malware instantly replaces it with the attacker's address. You paste what appears to be the correct address, but your transaction goes to the attacker instead. Your wallet's password protection and encryption remain intact throughout this entire process. They're simply irrelevant to this attack method. The frequency of these attacks reveals how common this vulnerability exploitation has become. Security researchers document thousands of new crypto-targeting malware variants every month. These attacks succeed against users who believe their hot wallets provided adequate security. The $3,500 Bitcoin theft mentioned earlier represents just one example from a massive pattern of similar incidents occurring daily across the crypto ecosystem. The technical process of private key extraction happens faster than most users realize. Modern malware can identify crypto wallet applications running on your device and trigger specialized monitoring routines. When you access your wallet, the malware activates keyloggers, screen capture tools, and memory scanners simultaneously. As you authenticate and access your private keys, the malware captures this information through multiple channels. The entire extraction process completes within milliseconds of your wallet access, often before the legitimate transaction finishes processing. This attack timeline reveals why hot wallet security features cannot address the core vulnerability. Your password successfully authenticates you to your wallet. Your encryption successfully protects your private keys from unauthorized access. But these security measures operate within a compromised environment where malware has already gained system-level access to your device. The malware doesn't need to break your security, it simply observes your legitimate access and copies the results. Network-based attacks compound these device-level vulnerabilities. Man-in-the-middle attacks can intercept your wallet communications with blockchain networks, potentially revealing transaction details or injecting malicious data. DNS poisoning can redirect your wallet connections to attacker-controlled servers that capture your private information. These network attacks succeed regardless of your wallet's internal security features, because they target the communication layer between your wallet and the blockchain. The architectural problem extends beyond individual devices to the broader hot wallet ecosystem. Every hot wallet must maintain internet connectivity to function, creating millions of potential entry points for attackers. The economic incentives driving these attacks ensure their continued evolution and sophistication. Cryptocurrency theft provides immediate, irreversible financial rewards for successful attackers. Hot wallets store your most valuable digital assets in the most vulnerable location possible, on internet-connected devices where malware can access them. The Bitcoin theft that cost one viewer $3,500 started with what seemed like a routine software download 3 weeks earlier. He had installed what appeared to be a legitimate PDF reader from a website that looked professional and trustworthy. The download completed without any antivirus warnings, and the software worked exactly as expected. During those 3 weeks, the malware embedded within that PDF reader operated in complete silence. It consumed minimal system resources to avoid detection by performance monitoring tools. It avoided triggering security alerts by mimicking normal system processes. The malware established persistence by creating registry entries that ensured it would restart automatically every time the computer booted up. The malware spent this dormant period conducting reconnaissance on the infected system. It cataloged installed applications, searching specifically for cryptocurrency wallet software. 3 specialized monitoring systems activated simultaneously whenever the victim launched any cryptocurrency application. The keylogger component began recording every keystroke, storing them in encrypted log files that transmitted to the attacker's servers hourly. These logs captured not just passwords but also seed phrases, private keys, and any other sensitive text the victim typed. The keylogger distinguished between different applications, tagging crypto wallet keystrokes with higher priority flags for immediate processing. Screen capture functionality triggered whenever crypto wallet windows gained focus on the desktop. The malware took screenshots every 2 seconds during wallet usage, creating a complete visual record of the victim's actions. These screenshots captured wallet interfaces, showing balances, transaction histories, and most importantly, any seed phrases or private keys displayed on screen. The malware compressed and encrypted these images before transmitting them to prevent detection by network monitoring tools. Memory scanning routines searched the computer's RAM for patterns matching cryptocurrency private keys and seed phrases. When crypto wallet applications loaded private keys into memory for transaction processing, the malware immediately detected and extracted these values. This scanning process occurred continuously while wallet applications remained active, ensuring the malware captured private keys even if they existed in memory for only brief moments. The Clipboard monitoring system represented the most sophisticated component of this attack. It detected whenever the victim copied text that matched cryptocurrency address formats for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and dozens of other cryptocurrencies. The malware maintained a database of the attacker's wallet addresses for each supported cryptocurrency type. When the victim copied a legitimate recipient address, the malware instantly replaced it with the corresponding attacker address for that cryptocurrency type. Process injection techniques allowed the malware to embed itself directly within the wallet application's memory space. This approach bypassed many security measures because the malicious code appeared to originate from the legitimate wallet application itself. The injected code could access all data structures within the wallet application, including private keys, transaction details, and user credentials. This direct access eliminated the need to intercept communications between the wallet and the operating system. The attack sequence began when the victim accessed his MetaMask wallet to transfer Bitcoin to a cryptocurrency exchange. As he entered his wallet password, the keylogger captured each character in real time. The screen capture system documented the wallet interface as it displayed his Bitcoin balance and transaction history. When MetaMask loaded his private keys into memory to sign the transaction, the memory scanner immediately detected and extracted these keys. Network interception capabilities monitored all outbound connections from the wallet applications. The malware analyzed blockchain communication protocols to identify transaction broadcasts and wallet synchronization activities. It captured transaction details including amounts, recipient addresses, and fee structures. This network monitoring provided the attacker with comprehensive intelligence about the victim's crypto holdings and transaction patterns. The victim copied the exchange's Bitcoin deposit address from his browser and pasted it into the MetaMask send field. The Clipboard hijacker had replaced the legitimate exchange address with the attacker's Bitcoin address within milliseconds of the copy operation. The victim saw what appeared to be the correct address in the send field because the replacement happened faster than human perception could detect. The malware ensured the replacement address matched the same format and character patterns as the original to avoid suspicion. Transaction signing occurred entirely within the compromised wallet application. The malware monitored the signing process and captured the complete transaction data before it transmitted to the Bitcoin network. Since the victim had unknowingly entered the attacker's address as the recipient, the signed transaction legitimately transferred his Bitcoin to the criminal's wallet. The blockchain network processed this transaction as completely valid because it contained proper signatures and met all protocol requirements. The entire theft process completed within 47 seconds from wallet access to transaction confirmation. The malware transmitted all captured data to the attacker's servers, while the legitimate transaction still awaited blockchain confirmation. By the time the victim realized his Bitcoin had gone to the wrong address, the attacker had already moved the funds through multiple intermediary wallets to obscure the theft trail. The victim never provided his password to an attacker, never visited a phishing website, and never clicked on suspicious links. His MetaMask wallet performed exactly as designed, with all security features functioning properly. The encryption protecting his private keys worked flawlessly, and his device showed no obvious signs of compromise. The malware succeeded because it targeted the human interaction layer where security measures become temporarily transparent during normal wallet operations. This attack pattern demonstrates why traditional security approaches fail when applied to cryptocurrency storage. Banks protect against similar threats by maintaining air-gapped systems that never connect to the internet, but hot wallets must remain online to function. Coinbase displays your Bitcoin balance with the same familiar interface you see when checking your bank account online. Kraken shows transaction histories that mirror traditional banking statements. Binance presents deposit and withdrawal options that look identical to moving money between savings accounts. These visual similarities create an immediate sense of familiarity that attracts millions of users who want to buy crypto without learning complex wallet management. The interfaces use the same color schemes, navigation patterns, and terminology that traditional banking apps employ, making the transition feel seamless and trustworthy. The user experience reinforces this banking-like perception through every interaction. You create an account with an email and password, just like opening a bank account online. You verify your identity by uploading government documents, following the same KYC procedures banks require. You link your bank account or credit card to fund purchases using payment methods you already trust. The exchange sends you confirmation emails for every transaction, maintains customer service departments, and provides account statements that resemble traditional financial documents. Behind this familiar interface lies a fundamental difference that most users never understand until it becomes too late. When you deposit crypto into an exchange, you surrender complete control over your private keys. The exchange generates wallet addresses for your account, but these addresses point to wallets controlled entirely by the exchange, not by you. Your account balance represents the exchange's promise to provide you with crypto upon request, but you own no actual crypto assets while they remain on the platform. The custodial wallet system concentrates millions of users' private keys within the exchange's infrastructure. Every Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoin held by users exists within wallets controlled by the exchange's private keys. This creates a massive single point of failure where one security breach, management decision, or technical failure can affect every user simultaneously. The exchange maintains internal ledgers showing how much crypto belongs to each user account, but these are simply database entries that can be modified, frozen, or deleted at any time. FTX demonstrated how quickly this custodial system can collapse when Sam Bankman-Fried's exchange filed for bankruptcy in November 2022. Users who had stored billions of dollars worth of crypto on the platform discovered their funds were gone overnight. The exchange had used customer deposits to cover trading losses and risky investments without user knowledge or consent. Account balances that showed substantial crypto holdings became worthless numbers in a database that no longer corresponded to actual assets. Celsius Network's collapse preceded FTX by several months, revealing similar patterns of custodial abuse. The platform promoted itself as a crypto bank offering high interest rates on deposited assets. Users transferred their Bitcoin and Ethereum to Celsius, expecting to earn passive income while maintaining access to their funds. Instead, Celsius used customer deposits for high-risk loans and investments that ultimately failed. When the platform froze withdrawals in June 2022, users lost access to over $4.7 billion in deposited crypto. BlockFi followed a parallel trajectory, using customer funds for lending activities that exceeded the platform's risk tolerance. When Three Arrows Capital and other major borrowers defaulted on their loans, BlockFi faced insolvency despite holding billions in customer assets. The platform filed for bankruptcy protection, leaving users unable to access their deposited crypto, while legal proceedings determined asset recovery procedures. Quadragasex's failure revealed how individual control can compromise entire custodial systems. When founder Gerald Cotten died unexpectedly in 2019, investigators discovered that he alone controlled the exchange's private keys. The exchange claimed it could not access approximately $190 million in user funds because only Cotten knew the passwords and private keys required to unlock the wallets. Users lost their deposits not through hacking or fraud, but through catastrophic key management practices that concentrated control within a single person. Exchanges possess the technical capability and legal authority to freeze user accounts without prior notice or explanation. Binance has frozen accounts suspected of money laundering, often based on automated algorithms that flag unusual transaction patterns. Coinbase regularly restricts withdrawals from accounts pending additional identity verification, leaving users unable to access their funds for weeks or months. These freezing capabilities exist within every custodial exchange because they control the private keys required to authorize transactions. Geographic restrictions can instantly eliminate access to your funds when exchanges comply with changing regulations. When China banned cryptocurrency trading, Chinese users lost access to international exchanges that blocked IP addresses from restricted regions. Russian users faced similar restrictions following international sanctions, discovering that their crypto holdings on foreign exchanges became inaccessible despite having no personal involvement in sanctioned activities. Traditional banking provides FDIC insurance that protects deposits up to $250,000 per account, but crypto exchanges offer no equivalent protection. When a bank fails, the federal government guarantees deposit recovery through insurance programs funded by the banking industry. Crypto exchanges operate without comparable safety nets, meaning user losses from exchange failures, hacks, or fraud receive no government backing or insurance coverage. Exchange security breaches affect millions of users simultaneously because custodial systems concentrate private keys within single organizations. The Mt. Gox hack in 2014 resulted in the theft of 850,000 Bitcoin belonging to hundreds of thousands of users. More recent breaches at exchanges like KuCoin, Bitfinex, and Polynetwork have demonstrated that even well-funded platforms with professional security teams remain vulnerable to sophisticated attacks. The scale of potential losses through exchange failures dwarfs individual wallet compromises because custodial systems aggregate risks across entire user bases. A single successful attack against an exchange can steal crypto from millions of users, while individual wallet compromises typically affect only one person at a time. This risk concentration makes exchanges attractive targets for criminals who can steal massive amounts through single successful operations. Your exchange account balance represents an IOU rather than actual crypto ownership. The exchange promises to deliver crypto when you request withdrawals, but this promise carries no legal guarantees or insurance protection. The database entry showing your Bitcoin balance can disappear through bankruptcy, regulatory action, technical failures, or management decisions that treat customer funds as company assets. Cold wallets eliminate these systemic risks by removing your private keys from custodial control entirely, ensuring that exchange failures cannot affect your personal crypto holdings. Cold wallets eliminate the fundamental vulnerability that compromises every hot wallet and exchange by storing your private keys in hardware devices that never connect to the internet. These physical devices look like USB drives or small calculators designed specifically to generate, store, and use private keys in completely isolated environments. Unlike software wallets that run on your phone or computer, cold wallets operate as standalone hardware that maintains permanent separation from online systems where malware and hackers operate. The Ledger Nano S, Trezor Model T, and similar devices represent purpose-built computers with one specialized function: protecting your private keys from internet-based threats. When you first initialize a cold wallet, it generates your private keys using internal random number generators that never communicate with external systems. This key generation process happens entirely within the device's isolated hardware, ensuring that your private keys never exist on internet-connected computers, where malware could capture them. Your computer could be completely infected with the most sophisticated crypto-stealing malware ever created, and your cold wallet would remain completely secure. The malware that devastated the victim who lost $3,500 in Bitcoin would find nothing to steal because cold wallets never store private keys on the host computer. The keyloggers, screen capture tools, and memory scanners that successfully extracted private keys from hot wallets cannot access information that exists only within isolated hardware devices. Secure element chips provide the foundation for cold wallet security through specialized processors designed to resist both physical and electronic attacks. These chips function like miniature bank vaults built into the hardware, using tamper-resistant technology that detects physical intrusion attempts and responds by permanently destroying stored data. If someone tries to remove the chip, drill into the device, or use acid to expose internal components, the secure element detects these attacks and erases your private keys to prevent theft. The secure element operates independently from the device's main processor, creating multiple layers of isolation within the cold wallet itself. Your private keys exist only within this secure element, never transferring to the main processor or any external component. This architecture ensures that even if attackers compromise other parts of the cold wallet's hardware, they cannot access the secure element where your private keys remain protected. Transaction signing demonstrates the most critical security advantage cold wallets provide over any internet-connected storage method. When you want to send cryptocurrency, your computer or phone creates the transaction details including recipient address and amount, then sends this information to the cold wallet for approval. The cold wallet receives the transaction data, displays it on its built-in screen for your verification, then signs the transaction using your private keys entirely within the secure hardware environment. Your private keys never leave the cold wallet during this signing process. The device performs all cryptographic operations internally, then transmits only the signed transaction back to your computer for broadcast to the blockchain network. Your computer receives a completed transaction that proves ownership of the cryptocurrency without ever accessing the private keys that created the signature. This process ensures that malware monitoring your computer sees only the final signed transaction, never the private keys that authorized it. Air-gapped operation eliminates every remote attack vector that threatens internet-connected storage systems. Cold wallets communicate with computers only through USB connections or Bluetooth when specifically activated for transactions. Between transactions, the devices maintain complete isolation from all networks, preventing remote access attempts that compromise hot wallets and exchange accounts. This air gap means that network-based attacks, man-in-the-middle interceptions, and remote malware operations cannot reach your private keys under any circumstances. The physical connection requirement creates an additional security barrier because attackers must gain physical access to both your cold wallet and your computer simultaneously to attempt any compromise. Remote attackers operating from different countries cannot access air-gapped devices through internet connections, eliminating the global attack surface that makes hot wallets vulnerable to criminals worldwide. Cold wallets function securely even when connected to completely compromised computers because they maintain control over the transaction approval process. When malware-infected computers attempt to create fraudulent transactions, the cold wallet's display shows the actual transaction details, allowing you to verify recipient addresses and amounts before approving signatures. If malware changes transaction details on your computer screen, the cold wallet display reveals the real transaction information, preventing clipboard hijacking and address substitution attacks. The device's physical buttons provide the final approval mechanism that malware cannot simulate or control. You must physically press buttons on the cold wallet to approve each transaction, creating a human verification step that exists outside your computer's compromised environment. Malware can control your computer completely, but cannot press physical buttons on external hardware devices. Recovery seed phrases generated by cold wallets receive the same offline protection as your private keys. The device displays your recovery words only on its internal screen during initialization, never transmitting them to connected computers. This ensures that the backup information needed to restore your wallet remains protected from malware that monitors computer screens and captures displayed text. Cold wallets create an impenetrable barrier between your private keys and online threats by implementing multiple independent security layers that each address different attack vectors. The air-gapped operation prevents remote access, secure elements resist physical attacks, transaction signing isolates private keys from host computers, and manual approval buttons require human interaction that malware cannot replicate. These combined protections eliminate the fundamental vulnerabilities that make hot wallets and exchanges unsuitable for serious cryptocurrency storage. The security advantages of cold wallets scale with your cryptocurrency holdings because the protection remains constant regardless of how much crypto you store. Whether protecting $100 or $100,000 in cryptocurrency, cold wallets provide identical security barriers that hot wallets cannot match at any price point. However, not every device marketed as a cold wallet provides equivalent security protection, and understanding these differences becomes critical when selecting hardware that will protect your cryptocurrency investments for years to come. The hardware wallet market presents consumers with devices that range from bank-grade security to little more than expensive USB drives with cryptocurrency branding. Manufacturing costs drive many companies to cut corners on critical security components, creating products that appear identical to genuinely secure devices, but fail catastrophically when faced with determined attackers. The price differences between legitimate cold wallets and security theater devices often reflect these fundamental architectural choices that determine whether your cryptocurrency remains protected or becomes vulnerable to sophisticated theft methods. Standard microcontrollers power many budget cold wallets, using the same general-purpose chips found in basic electronics like calculators and digital thermometers. These chips process data efficiently and cost manufacturers only a few dollars each, making them attractive for companies prioritizing profit margins over security. However, standard microcontrollers offer no protection against physical attacks, side-channel analysis, or reverse engineering attempts that can extract private keys from the device's memory. The KeepKey wallet exemplifies this compromise approach using standard computing components that provide basic functionality without tamper-resistant properties. An attacker with physical access to a KeepKey device can potentially extract private keys using relatively simple techniques because the hardware lacks specialized security features. The device encrypts stored data, but this encryption becomes meaningless when attackers can access the decryption keys stored in the same unprotected memory. Secure element chips represent the opposite approach, incorporating specialized hardware designed specifically to resist physical and electronic attacks. These chips cost significantly more than standard microcontrollers but provide tamper-resistant properties that detect intrusion attempts and respond by permanently destroying stored data. The Trezor Safe 3 uses an E6 certified secure element chip, indicating compliance with rigorous security standards developed for financial and government applications.